the first thing that you see when you see the slide. Has anyone ever seen The Big Bang with Sheldon? Picture that. So I don't watch a lot. My boys help me. My boys are now 18 and 24. And because they've grown up with all of this, they'll actually say, Mum, come and watch this on telly. And they will say, here's a great example of stars or aquas or crystals or whatever else. And when I watched The Big Bang Theory many years ago, I just went, oh my gosh, that. So it was interesting, your comments. People pleasing, yes, they can be people pleasers because they're much more, can be smaller in personality on some level. Somebody said Dungeons and Dragons type thing, very much. They love the fantasy world because it's easy to deal with. However, they are the super genius as well. They're very structured and intellectual and intelligence, but they need that duality side as well. The gentleman on your right, he's got like a remote control hanging down with a sheet and a broom, and he's all dressed up. Has anyone ever been to Comic-Con?
Seen it. I'm afraid to go every year.
I plan on going this year and taking photos because it's just amazing. They're star children becoming something else that they can express themselves in. And they do that to alleviate working from the left brain all the time. And if you look at the dress sense, sometimes dress sense wise, they don't understand. It's not that they don't care what people think about them. They don't understand social aspect at all. Because what's more important is things like laptops and these things. It's because of star children we have all this great technology. So they're more interested in that. So who cares what they're wearing? Does that make sense? Love systems, love. So they will suit school, but they can get bored with school. Because if school's not over-intellectualising and thinking and strategy and plans and systems, then it's too boring. And if you make them touch people and if you make them work in a group, it's a little bit icky. They will do it, but they don't like it. They're auditory and visual learners, and they can be very addicted to the carbohydrates, especially breads and sugars and things like that as well. They can be very sickly. Their immune system seems to be very, very poor compared to the aqua and the crystal. And their immune system to emotional is also poor. These ones are the ones that feel like they are victimized or bullied a lot, where they feel alone and isolated. Extreme examples, you've seen some of the media of teenagers going in the US schools and killing other students? Yes? Or heard of it? Star children.
Sounds a bit Asperger's-y to me.
I can't say that, but it could be.
Yeah. That's
How's that?
Get from it.
Yeah. And it depends. Asperger's, autism, Asperger's spectrum, I mean, they keep changing the name. Yeah. That these ones don't know how to deal with feelings at all, but they do feel them, but I don't know how to express it. Whereas the aqua, you hurt me, I'm going to punch you, I'm going to spit on you, I'm going to bite you. Whereas these ones, what they do when they learn the technique is they use what I call acid tongue. They will say nasty words, and they're very, very clever. Now, if someone's okay to be filmed and come up here as a demo, I'm going to be a couple of the personalities. Okay, don't all jump. Thank you so much.
I'm hardly dressed for it.
No, you're dressed perfectly. Remember, just perfectly. Thank you, darling. Come over here. So,
I missed that. What did you say?
You're not a star child.
no, don't come over here, darling. So, now, she's going to be either a crystal or aqua, either or. And I'm going to, what's her name, darling?
Ali.
Ali, thank you, Ali. I'm going to be the star child. So as an aqua, she's going to just push me or shove me. So I'm going to be a star child. Push me. Do it again.
What are you doing, Jean? Jean, what are you doing?
Okay, so I won't do anything and I will make myself small, but there's something inside of me intellectually that goes, I'll check around to see, because these ones are good at manipulating, I'll check around to see if any of the teachers, grown-ups or adults are watching, and I see the principal, Anne, over there is watching. So I don't say anything and I'm down like this and looking really scared. And the aqua's just going, yeah, whatever. And so what I do is I say, Ellie got a D, Ellie is dumb. And so I just secretly slip it in the acetone. What's the aqua going to do when I say that? Punch me. And who gets in trouble?
Story of my life.
Excellent. Now, Allie's going to be a crystal. So she's all pretty and rinky, so you can't have your hands in your pocket. You can't have your hands in your pocket. You're all girly and curly, pretty, and twiddle your hair and all girly.
Don't know how to do it.
But she's all pretty, and Star Child comes along. What she will do is look me up and down, going, oh, yeah, that's the way, like super geek, ooh, yuck, disgusting, wrong clothes, the whole lot. And as a Star Child, I can feel it, so I don't know how to deal with it. And I become clumsy in my personality and clumsy in my whole being. So I might not be able to speak, I might accidentally spit, bit of snot might come out. All these awkwardness thingies will come out. Does that make sense? So thank you so much.
So is that your only reaction to a crystal?
Yeah, because I don't know how to deal with you.
Whereas with the aqua, you were quite happy to...
Yes, because one of the traits of crystals can answer back quite viciously with words.
Yeah, I went to school with them.
Okay. Take it to Ellie. They're introvert personalities, generally speaking, unless they're put in the limelight like comedians. If you look at comedians always tell a sad story about who? Themselves. And it's always an awkwardness. And if you look at, generally speaking, comedians, how do they dress? Awkwardly. And so they can be poor communicators with social, but not when it comes with things like technology. They're amazing with this style, but it's how they need to learn how to be able to socialise with people as well. So they can be a bully on this level. Does that make sense? Their retaliation, like I just did then to Ali of, you're dumb, you got a D, that's fine, but it will be retaliation this way that they will do it.
So they're online trolls and stuff.
Look, they're the super amazing ones that can hack your computers. If only they used it for good, not evil. But yes, they're incredible, but they will do it online because then there's a barrier between you, very much. Or they will do it very cunningly, this is more as adults, by suing, by finding out the systems. Examples would be scientists, solicitors, politicians. Just one politician, could be any of the politicians. But you look at politicians and how they communicate. It's very structured. They actually have somebody tell them how to communicate and what to say. And if you notice, politicians don't actually tell you anything. So you if I ask, like you'd be great if you asked me as a politician some sort of policy. Pretend I'm a politician. What would you ask me?
So what do you think about going and bombing North Korea?
Well, as you know, we have a bigger picture. And as you know, we love Australia. And as you know, can you see how it's structured and slowed down? But have you found anything out yet? No, not at all. So introvert controlled, but I'm not going to give you too much information because I like to hold it back. And you think how much bullying do politicians do to each other? Not just here in Australia. If you've ever seen Asian politics, they're actually fighting each other and everything. But they also bully who? Like they bully each other.
The Australian taxpayer?
These are notorious for bullying the staff.
Another example, Bill Gates. And it's his wife is a crystal that taught him with all this money, start donating it back into education. But he had a vision. What was his vision? It was to have everyone to have a computer in their home, which doesn't everyone have a computer? Nearly everyone have a computer in their home. And then lastly, everyone thinks this is a really old photo. It's not. If you have a look, they seem really disorganized. He's got like 70s glasses on, which are now back in fashion again. He just seems to be a bit clumsy. They don't seem to notice things around them. And they can go into fantasy land, whether it's Comic-Con or Big Bang Theory, or they're the children that seem to stargaze out there and you have to call them back. They're actually accessing greater wisdom and trying to systemize how to deal with this world as well as the intellect world. How do you marry it up? And another great example, and this is actually from the Noosa, I used to watch this at the Noosa Library. It's a game called Warhammer. You can't quite see it on the thing, but there's little figurines about this big. And each figurine you have to buy and build and cut and paint, and they start at $90.
Whoa.
Who designed them? Star Children. For who? Star Children. And so these systems, to move that particular army 1 centimetre, will take you minimum an hour. They're thinkers. And Star Children are thinkers. They'll process and think and process and think. And I'm talking from the age of 2, not just adults. Have a look at the uniform. It's very bland t-shirts, jeans. We've got lots of Coke cans. Thinking. So they look like they're bullied all the time because they can be socially awkward, but they can bully back as well. How can we help these ones? Yes. One-on-one time with these children, whether it's a girl or a boy, and finding out what they like. Remembering that they're auditory visual learners like the Crystal, and then channeling it that way. So if we go back to the veggie patch, the aqua, he just wants to get in and dig it all up and shove things in. The Crystal will make it pretty, but this one will create the watering system.